Welcome back. We're here to cover the Divine Masculine update. And for those of you that haven't joined us, I'd love to have you join us. We cover astrology, your twin flame path, new content coming soon. And for those of you that don't know, I'm your host, Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. I'm a psychic medium. I cover astrology. I coach the Twin Flame Collective. And I do have esoteric wisdom associated to being a psychic medium and more. Now, we are going to look at the Divine Masculines update, and it does look very interesting. Although they may have some adversity moving forward, they're set to rewrite their future of what they feel is correct for them, because they are ready to rewrite their life path and where it's going collectively. Now, as we do move to the crowning energy, the first thing I'm noticing is that this person, this energy, the collective energy coming through with the Divine Masculine is receiving some light codes. And, although there's been some pain, it's a little bit like Rocky. They're looking at life and they're like, you know what? No pain, no gain. And there's infinite creative ideas. There's really, from the context of things, they want to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. And they're very determined about what they're going to create. I do feel some of them are actually purging out toxins. And it does feel, regardless of what their life has been, they could be having some revelations that we are moving into an interesting time. And this could bring about opportunities for a small portal that can be up to 5 years. Maybe even a bit more, but whatever the tone is, whatever the revelations are, coming to terms with the past and moving to the future, regardless of where they stand today, they know automatically it is not going to define them moving forward. They are choosing their luck. They are turning their luck around. And what they plant now is what is going to come full circle. So, they are really realizing that there are pulls linking to people, places, and things. Now, these pulls can be almost like noticing that other people are following their dreams, noticing that maybe they're being pulled back due to social responsibilities, obligations, expectations. And this is something that is actually offending them. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to think outside the box. If Joe Blogg down the road can do it, I know I can. And they do feel that the impossible is possible. And like I said, they might be keeping this close to their chest, but darn on it, whoever is triggering them into this action is the direct catalyst. And yes, sometimes that can be a direct karmic cycle. Sometimes it can be a physical karmic partner or directly their mindset, just really believing that that's all we can have, and a little bit like living in a bubble and it's all that exists. And then we open the door and we realize there's a whole new world. I feel there is a physical metamorphosis happening here, and there is a transformation. And I feel as though, especially with the context of the rabbit energy, there could be some information coming through to them. And even just the lunation of the eclipse, I feel directly is impacting them. Now, the first few weeks of October, I do feel is directly going to be impacted by the previous eclipses. As we are ironing the creases out, there's other shifts going on. And I do see this person here really wanting to level up. I do feel it's important that they do ground themselves, that they are looking after their wellness and having that self-care involved. There can be a lot coming at them, and they may realize that what they're going to have to deal with may take more of a toll. However, is the buck worth the grind? And again, I do feel it's something they're very determined to do. They could directly be just mapping how they can do that. So problem solving, skill setting, seeking assistance, having chats to people that can be quite influential from a psychological, emotional point of view. And I do feel it's about healing. This can be also clearing their heart chakra and wanting to discuss with people that are nearest and dearest to them about where they see their actual life going. And I do feel synchronicities can be coming through with pets, with animals. It could be that a stray comes along and it's connecting in with this individual. Again, I do feel this connection between masculine and the animal kingdom. And it feels like, it's almost like, oh, what's that movie? Tell me what the movie is. I think it's got Eddie Murphy in it. And it's, I've forgotten the name of it. You're going to have to tell me. Mine's gone blank. Probably the Virgo energy. Okay, yeah, they're not wanting any longer to to live in regret. Okay, they're looking at, regardless of what this was in the past, they're bringing something full circle, and they do know that they can actually co-create their own luck. Adversity is adversity, but anything worth fighting for is worth putting your energy into. And what they're not wanting to do. Can it be the art of appreciation in the context? I think so. And I think we do need to be cautious of where we're putting our energy, what we're pushing our energy and our wealth into. And as well as us really, how could I put it? Valuing ourselves, valuing our needs, valuing our health, the art of appreciation. If sometimes we can actually be taken out of a circumstance. It could be like we're at work and everything's flowing, and then suddenly, bang, not feeling so well, have to go home. So sometimes from that ascension process, rejection is universe's protection. So I feel if there has been a slowdown for this person, I feel it's actually aiding them and giving them some perspective and space. And again, I just really get this context at a foundation level. There is a lot of regrets, but they also don't want to live there just in the context of, gee, I regret not doing X, Y, and Z. I regret not having that relationship with my counterpart. Whatever it is, they're more so in the vibration of, what can I do from here? I don't want to any longer live in regret about the things I know I can co-create. I do feel it's almost like, they feel so bizarre. It's almost like the animal kingdom's talking to them. I'm going back to this analogy again. It's like nature. There's so many different signs that are coming up. And again, we go back to the crowning energy. It's like the world wants to be written, but it's all these synchronicities, and it's this massive transformation. And they know it's going to be a massive undertaking, but all the signs and writing on the wall are actually speaking to it. And I feel they're going to find the right words, especially if they've been stumbling upon, how do I articulate this? How do I broach this subject? Be it it's a breakup, be it it's a conversation with divine feminine. This throat chakra energy, I feel they're going to have a bit of assistance with it about what and how to go about it, how to implement it, how to beautify it, and really how to have the best possible actions for this situation. Yeah, they don't want to dream the dream. They're done with that. They don't want to dream the dream. They're absolutely fed up to the neck of dreaming the dream and not living it. And they do feel a lot of people have taken from them. They do feel, to a degree, from a psychological point of view, they maybe even did that to themselves. Now they're like, I just keep hearing that song, enough is enough is enough. I can't go on. It's like they just want to go and work on what they want. They want to address it. They want to end cycles. They want to hack things off that they feel are no longer in alignment for them and that have to simply go, because they just don't feel that there's room for that in their life anymore. And they also feel life is too short. We've got the mortality card, and it's about the wellness. It's about being our own worst enemies, crunching habits, ditching habits, getting that it's actually, it could be a coping mechanism at times. And the Virgo energy is all to do with wellness. It could be psychological. It's our daily routines. It's like, could I have got to where I wanted to go if I had just taken one step at a time? I think for many of us to this point, especially if we are using these readings, in a sense of tuning in to see where the person's at in the romantic sector of things. Also go back and re-listen to it from the vibration of where we're utilizing our masculine yin to the yang energy. Because I do feel collectively we all can agree that anything new we've wanted to start, it has been difficult. There's been challenges. There's been a lot of psychology. There's been having to, look at our shadow and our fears and accepting endings and putting another block up on a building. So I think this portal moving forward is an opportunity to start doing that properly in the back scenes, in the acceptance, in the assertiveness, and being the most authentic version of ourselves, whereby we can actually live our life with purpose. And I think that there might have been, it's like addressing the elephant in the room. We have the mortality card. Now, the sixth house can be the house of our undoing. It can be our bad patterns and habits. It can be work. It can be living in a repeating cycle. So, and I do tend to look at Virgo and Taurus energy collectively as almost like feeling comfortable in a traditional kind of setting. And what do I mean by that? Something that feels secure, something that feels, and sometimes it can be a bit mundane. Like it's not, I'm not saying it's boring, although the sixth house can be at times, it can be boring, but it's safe, but without growing the safe. It's like a crab leaving the shell. It's like about growing, I need a new home. So I think in this context, we're utilizing what we have in front of us. We're being resourceful. You also are, looking at what you do need to end. Life is brief, bright, brilliant, and yours to live. So it's like, okay, if I was to put everybody's needs aside, and it's not to say this can be a time with planets in the house of Aries, especially connected to masculine attributes and masculine energies. You directly are the Mars energy. We can only be the best version of ourselves when we love ourselves and we place ourselves forward, which can initially, and this was always the wariness astrologers discussed, it was like selfishness. Now, it's not selfish if it's self-care. One analogy I can give you is the air hostess coming to you and saying, they go through the spiel, they're like, get the book, that's the manual, this is where the oxygen mask is, wear your seatbelt, follow instructions, and see those lights, that's the exit stage. But you help yourself first, then you help your neighbor, right? You help the person who's next to you. And it's not because you want to be selfish. It's because, well, if you go down, you can't help anyone. So it's this revelation that you are going to be leading by example. You are going to be co-creating these dreams. And that, sometimes when we cry wolf and we say we're going to do something, we don't follow through, it can be circumstantial. And I really do feel this year has been quite circumstantial. It's been transitions of energy, us virtually coming to terms for the past, realizing our foot really in a pebble sense is between the old world and the new world, and petrified of the new, but outgrowing the old. So there's nowhere to go but forward. Now, I feel if there have been things pulling you back and trying to make you scared of that, I feel you're about ready to jump in the deep end. And it's like, you know what? None of us know. We're just going to jump in. We're just going to move forward. We're going to see what that brings, and we'll deal with every challenge as it comes. So I do feel it's about accepting, and I do feel, especially in the context of your life, if there was a circumstance where you felt there was a karmic or there was a influential individual, how do I speak about it? How do I deal with it? How do I go about it? What about the money? What about the house? Whatever. Okay. I feel you're getting to a point you're going, you know what? I just need to end what needs ending, not be my own worst enemy. All the cards will fall where they fall, and then I can move forward. And I do think this has everything to do with both yourself and your divine connection. If you haven't subscribed to Yildiz Readings 5D, I'd love to have you join the rest of our beautiful tribe. We also do have new super chats that are coming up. Separately, if you do want to find them, they can be in the live section. And keep an eye on our blog posts, because we are adding additional blogs, and they will cover your twin flame path, the astrology, and any psychic downloads and more I have. Now, if you want to join our Sage Inner Circle Network, it is our brand new membership. We do have round 2 coming up. You can join the list to join our membership. It has a twin flame room. It's got pre-release content. You have access to me to ask what's going on in your connection or how to work through some adversity, all that support. We've got live private super chat sessions within the members hub, astrology rooms. We're building out e-learning, and resources online separately, do go to our website and download our app, because we will have sales, bookings, blogs, and resources that we are going to be hosting directly via the website. And those things also are going to be built out here online at Yildiz Readings. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to check the feminine and the karmic third party for this week's edition.